Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Gaea Verneris, your empowerment strategist and producer. Thank you for downloading today's episode. Today, we're going to talk about reconnecting to our unseen support. So funny that last week we were talking about connecting with every conversation. And now I want you to reconnect and remember that you have support all of the time. Today's show was the last retreat for the 2022 Inner Circle Mastermind, and this became the theme for all of us. And we had some experiences throughout the weekend that reminded us, we reconnected, and we're sharing it with you today. We're also sharing with you today, and for 1 week only. Today is September 13th, so until September 20th, 2022. We are gifting you over $2,000 worth of tools to build your self-esteem, to love yourself more, to heal your body, to find more money in your life, and to make more money in your life. So if you want any of these tools, which of course, why wouldn't you not? Because otherwise they cost money and now they're free. Go to gaeaverneris.com/support. And for 1 week only, everyone in the mastermind is giving away, including me, things that we otherwise would sell. So I hope you'll come over and check it out. Check out everybody's stuff and see what resonates with you. What do you need? And if you don't even need it now, but maybe you think you'll need it in the future, I'd recommend signing up and getting the tool, because you can always use it a little bit later. With that said, a bunch of us from the group are going to be doing a Facebook and YouTube Live tomorrow, September 14th, from 5 p.m. Pacific time and 8 p.m. Eastern time for probably about an hour, just to put it out there and to remind you about those gifts and to answer any questions and just to promote this giveaway that we're doing. And I want you to know that on the giveaway for 1 week only, I am offering a special deal this week only for the Awaken Your Dream Life event. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, now is the time to buy it in the next 7 days between today and September 20th. I won't say much more because the episode is full of wonderful things. You'll meet everybody again. You've heard them before. But most importantly, remember that our experience and our businesses and our zones of genius and everything we want to put out in the world, we want to help you with it also. And we'd like to give you over $2,000 worth of financial, personal, professional, health-related tools. So please come on over to gaeaverneris.com/support. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Welcome, everybody. We are back. When I mean we, I mean the 2022 Inner Circle Mastermind. We have been together now for a couple of days, most of us, and definitely have had a very different and unique situation this time. Our show from Myrtle Beach back in March, when everybody met for the first time, and you got to hear a little bit about their journeys then. We've been sitting here talking about the theme of this weekend because it's very unique and specific, not only to us, but I think to a lot of what's going on with possibly a lot of you out there. I know that this is something I think people experience in life, whether they're aware of it or not, but they don't have a group to talk about it, or they don't have a group to be forced to deal with it or to make choices or decisions. So what happens is you isolate yourself and you think this only happens to people like you, and whatever that may be for you. You are unhappy in a relationship. You might want to change your job. You're not sure what your purpose is. You have health concerns. You are generally confused and overwhelmed and tired in life. And you're just like kind of going through the motions, but you again, there's not anyone actually on top of asking you to look at it, to explain it, to problem solve it, to deal with it, to support you, to ask for your growth, to show you your patterns. And so I think that's kind of collectively where we have been in different ways. I know for me, I'll let you know that I've been sort of up against a wall or really, really depleted. For those of you that have been listening for a while, I've been putting out content since 2014, and a lot of content. And it's an act of love. It's an act of passion. And for those of you that have been around for a while, that's why you're still here, because you can feel my love, but it's at the expense of my own energy and soul. And that has to change. I don't want to teach you to do what I'm doing. I want to teach you how to be a channel of energy, to be in alignment with who you really are, and to allow source energy, God, angels, Buddha, Jesus, whoever you want to channel. I don't really care, but I want you to leverage cosmic universal love energy, not push it, not personally create it. And so when we started off this mastermind weekend, I even had to sort of tell everybody that I was a little bit dead inside. Now, when that scares you to hear me say that, I don't quite mean it the way as literal as it is. I just didn't have any other words for depleted on every level. And that didn't mean I was depressed. It didn't mean I was sad. It didn't mean I was mad. It didn't mean anything. It just means I've literally been producing and producing and producing and producing and producing and producing and producing. And then also running groups like this and feeling responsible, like in my marriage, feeling responsible for people's success in all areas of life. Like it's my job to infuse you, the listener, and my clients with my energy. But that's not going to work, and that's not sustainable. And I understand, I know that, but we all have our lessons to learn and the ways we learn them. And here's how I have to learn mine. It's to be flattened on the ground and so tired that I have no positive desire for anything. And I just want to go watch movies in my room in the dark for the next year, not because I'm depressed, but because I'm not finding that spark or that joy or that clarity or that energy that I've placed on myself. So we're going to see where we go today. I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves, and just sort of reintroduce you know, many of them. And I think I'd like to hear anything you want to mention. Wendy, we'll start with you about the topic at hand today. And then, we'll just start there. And then we'll go around and talk about what we're doing in the world. But so any feedback you want to give about you coming here? I mean, every single person, for the most part, wasn't terribly prepared for, and there's no expectation, by the way. People get up in front of a room at a mastermind, you've got anywhere between 45 minutes or an hour to present or talk or ask for help. And that can be structured, or you can wing it. And I think people feel guilty or badly or judge themselves when they don't have anything prepared. But that's part of the lesson of being in the moment, being in the flow, being inspired, allowing yourself to get downloads in the moment and use your intuition and just trust the energy versus coming in, kind of infusing it, thinking you already know the answer. And you'll hear all about that. But anyway, so Wendy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. So I'm Wendy Patterson. I'm one of JJ's empowerment strategists and jumped into her mastermind. And I think for me this weekend, and it's truly about the support every single person in this room. And yes, I came unprepared. I forgot all my notes at home. And but when I got up to do my presentation or to have a discussion, it just all flowed so easily, so effortlessly. And it was just an amazing place to be, supported, driven, and inspired, and seen, heard, and in alignment, and trusting that I'm in the right space at the right time in my life.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle.
Okay. Hi, I'm Michelle Langdon, and this is my second year in the mastermind. And I almost didn't come, but because of everyone else's support and encouragement, I ended up making it here. I just had some circumstances where I moved this past week and things didn't go quite according to plan. And I thought I could just say, you know what, I don't think I'm going to make it. And everyone would just say, okay, but that was not the case. And everyone reached out and was very supportive and encouraging to get me here. And I'm so glad I did make it, because it is just feeling the support and love of everybody and the inspiration. Just the energy is great. So just so appreciate that.
We appreciate that you said yes and didn't decided that you were going to become cut off. And one of the things we put on the board was about isolating, because when you have, what I said to you was, don't let this situation define you. Mm-hmm. And too often when you're on a path and something bad happens, or you have a setback, or you make a mistake, or you're learning something, people go, oh, it's not working. This whole thing is not working. And then we get into, this overblown idea. And it's like, no, this moment in time is not ideal, but it's here to teach you something. But most people want to isolate themselves, run the other way, put their head down because they have shame about something that they think they did wrong, instead of looking at it like contrast, and then not receiving the support, feeling embarrassed, not being honest. You were honest about what was going on for you, and you could have lied and you could have said, oh, well, I'm not going to tell them because that feels bad. But you were honest, and everybody got to come to the table and say, yeah, I've gone through that too, or I'm going through that right now. Like, you're not alone. We're all going through the same thing. So I appreciate that, even though I know everyone has their level of receiving to improve upon. You received the love and support. And then today, did anything happen for you today that you didn't expect in your time?
I think, yeah, it was this sort of epiphany. Like, I did have the thought that I don't have things figured out. Like, I screwed this up. I should have done this better. And there was like the shame and everything around it. And then to get here and in my time, just talk about the things that I'm doing, what I realized happened and what I want to do, and just having everyone relate to it and knowing that I'm not alone. Nobody has it all figured out. And then you realize you're not alone in that.
More so with businesses than anything else, I get to say to all of you, we're your board of directors. We're the water cooler. When you work for yourself, it's an isolating situation because you're by yourself, you're with your computer, whatever, you have your clients, but like nobody, unless you have like a staff, even when you have a staff, it's still not their business, it's yours. It's a very lonely experience, which is why I battle with, I'm doing this mastermind and I'll probably continue doing it. But for that very reason, like, I want to have the space and time to talk about ideas and to share that. I live with another entrepreneur, which is awesome. And I appreciate that. But there's something very unique about supporting other business owners who know exactly what it's like to feel isolated and make a mistake or feel like you've made the wrong decision or question your decisions, and to have that kind of support. And so when I mean board of directors, obviously none of us would be making decisions on the behalf of your business. But it's the idea that in the background, and support, right? Unseen support, which we'll get to. But like, we are the seen support. There's the unseen support that we all have access to all the time. And then there's the seen support of the people who've literally said, I'm in this and you can lean on me, and please lean on me. But we just have to be able to receive that and say, okay, because that's invaluable, I think. And show up. And show up, which you did, which is great. Yeah. So thank you, Michelle. So Dana.
Hi, my name is Dana. I too recently moved and started a quasi new job, new location, same company. I too was upper limiting and wanted to recoil and just take time, thinking I needed to isolate to get my head straight and to be able to come to the table with ideas and just be more support for the group, whatever that meant. Plus, I came totally unprepared with ideas for my business, thinking I needed to have everything all figured out before I got here. And it was actually the absolute opposite of that it was flip that upside down. And this was exactly where I needed to be to realize, to get out of my own way, that recoiling wasn't the answer and that I didn't have to have all the answers, that the support around me here was, just the resources, everybody's words, encouragement, support, ideas. There's just no way I could have done this without, when you get emotional, this group.
How are you feeling about what we did today?
Amazing. I would not have had any idea that I would actually have, and I use the word tangible, idea of what I want to go forward with. I could not have imagined it. So it's awesome. I have a really awesome feeling that I have a starting point to finally go forward with, because it's been a little while, but I think I needed the process to get here. So, this many months, it's been perfect. I would say perfect timing, because I just feel so good in it. So just, I don't know, kind of an interesting, calming feeling, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's the perfect body sensation to let you know you're in the right way. Mm-hmm. Like Definitely. It's the right time.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, Miss Gaea.
Hi, I'm Gaea, and I kind of was the opposite than Michelle and Dana. I didn't think I was going to make it to Myrtle Beach, but went, and was so glad I did, and been counting down the days to come here to this one because I was really excited to see everyone again and put all of our heads together. And I mentioned this on the last podcast. What I love about this group as it relates to me and my career is that I get amazing support and ideas that are outside of my industry. So I did come prepared for this retreat, and I had a lot of notes and things that I wanted to go over and get some help with, ideas and brainstorming. And it was beyond my expectations of what you guys helped me come up with. And it was just in time because I was tasked an assignment last week by a work partner, and the assignment directly aligned with what we could do here together. So for me, that was really perfect. It was perfect timing, and I felt super good about what we did together.
Well, thank you for the role you played in the encouragement of the others to get them here. Like you said, they did it for you, and then you did it for them. So that's how that works.
Of course, we're a team now. We need each other. It's not a mastermind group without the group.
Right. Exactly. Otherwise, it's just coaching.
Hi, I'm Patty. I have gone through JJ's Empowerment Strategist program, and I'm building a coaching business, and now enjoying the mastermind and feeling a little bit disconnected because we've been busy building a house and living in a rural area, and it's been kind of like hard to focus. So I felt a little bit kind of like someone showing up without their homework done. But right before we were leaving, I kept thinking, but it's okay. I am where I am. And as I'm there, growth is going to happen no matter what. And I'm going to learn new things, and nobody's going to judge me, and nobody's going to be mad at me. And like just going through that in my head to, okay, we're going. It made it even more difficult because there were things we were going to be moving, and we were hoping to be moved before we came. And due to circumstances beyond our control, we aren't moved yet. So we are moving as soon as we get back. So it's a little bit like we're right at that point where we could move. And it was a little painful to leave it because we wanted to get it done. But we worked extra hard to get to that point, which was kind of depleting. So like when Michelle was saying she couldn't go, I was like, no, we're right there. We're so exhausted. I sent her a message that was a video message because I looked like I had been through a hurricane or something. Like I was so tired. My eyes were burning. But we made it here. I say we because my husband's here too. He's talking next. But we exhausted and drained, made it here, and then felt this overwhelming feeling of support, and so glad we're here. And I got a little unseen support through JJ's meditation that she led. And that was amazing because I forget that I have that unseen support in those people that aren't here anymore. So that was super touching for me. So for me, this whole thing is about forgotten and unseen support that I am receiving and accepting and loving.
Thanks, Patty. Yeah. One of the things I think I've gotten away from on the show is to remind you. So when it was more law of attraction based, there was more of that kind of verbiage, right? And even for myself, that is something I want to live more actively, is to remind myself and you and everyone listening that if you got to this podcast because of anything manifestation, law of attraction, and if you haven't, just hear me out here for a second, because that might be new for you. We are non-physical beings mostly. You are made up of more non-physical energy than you are made up of physical energy. You are like the sunbeam from the sun, physically focused, but your source is the sun. The source is the sky, the universe, God, Jesus, Buddha, universal love, angels. You are mostly source energy. So we forget because we're separated through physical bodies and skin and nails and, you know, all that kind of good stuff. We forget energetically that we are all connected. And we forget that in this tapestry of life, we are still connected to those who are no longer physical. And again, whether it be angels, your ancestors, and people feel often in life, I bring this into the mastermind, and I brought that into the mastermind this weekend. But even in life, people walk around feeling alone and lonely and separate, and they forget who they really are. And if you listen to Abraham, or if you've done any stuff with manifestation before, it's really like the bottom line message is like to remember who you really are. And you don't die. You return back to non-physical energy. If I know most of you who've listened to the show and know that and sort of believe and understand that you've been here before and you'll be here again. This is not your only lifetime. Again, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It gets recycled. It gets re-emerged into physical form. And if you can remember, and let's say you don't believe any of that, think about energy when you die, your soul. When you look at someone who has transitioned, you often can look at the body and say, that's not the person. That's their shell. I remember the first time I saw someone who had passed on, I was like 13 or 14. And I was very clear, like, that's not that person. That person left that body, right? We understand that. So where did you go? Well, you go where everybody else goes. It's non-physical energy all around you. And that's what your intuition is. That's what leverage is. That's what this whole deal is about tapping into what is already exists. There's no thought. There's no new thought. Everything has been thought. Everything has been said. It's all a recreation. It's all, we evolve and we expand and it gets deeper and it gets more clear. But we have access every day to be fed through non-physical energy. And again, think about a grandparent or someone who you love, an animal that's crossed over. If you can imagine that animal or that person is with you all the time, literally just hanging out with you, walking down the street with you. It's like why people love that Jesus poster of like the footsteps in the sand, because he was walking next to you, he was carrying you, right? Whatever image you need to remind yourself. And that's what we focused on a little bit this week, because I needed it. You all needed it. And I think those of you who listen need this. I think you need to be reminded that you're not alone, even when you think you are. And that's the biggest fallacy that exists. And if you can remember by looking up in the sky or by closing your eyes and meditating or remembering or listening to an Abraham, that you have access at all times to non-physical support for ideas, inspiration, energy, leverage, manifestations. And that was sort of the theme of this week. I did a meditation on the top of a mountain with a rock, with all of us, with crystals, and we had hiked there and it was perfect weather. And then we invited some angels to come in, and everybody had their experience with that. And then we went to a sound bath last night and she talked about the same thing. And it was, and I didn't talk to her ahead of time, so it was not planned. But again, I feel like if they were picking up on it and I was doing it and you felt like we're all in the same space of needing to be reminded that you are supported even when you don't think you are. And the difference is your awareness, acknowledgement, and alignment with it, or your disconnection from it. And when you're when you're in a group like this, especially in today's age, you work for yourself, you don't see a lot of new people beside your own clients or whatever, or you're on a growth path, whether it be healing, whether it be figuring out what you want to do with your life, or just figuring out how to be happy or have a good time. The community piece of the physicality of even just coming together and not talking. We stood on a mat, just being calibrates us differently than not being with people. And we've chosen to be together, and hopefully because I have attracted everybody who has high vibration and wants to live in this space. Because it's, again, very different when you're with other people who don't necessarily vibrate at that level, right? But even when you have a group of people who are on a growth path, truth seekers, conscious people, heart-centered people, you don't even got to do anything. That's why just come. You don't got to do anything. That's the point. And I thought about that when we had our retreat for the empowerment strategist last year. And I forgot to mention, to you guys, that, when Patty and Brittany and Aaron came, we were all pretty spent then too. And I said, how about we just flow? We don't plan a thing. Now, I planned this because of the time, and there wasn't a choice. Even though, I was barely, I've not done a very good job of keeping on time, but it's happened naturally. And like, just, it's kind of flowed. I'm looking at my schedule, like, hey, we're kind of sticking to the time, and I'm not in it. I'm not like worried about it, concerned about it. I'm not calculating. I'm just allowing it to be. But it's again, that being and unfolding and allowing that so many of us just don't give ourselves space to do because we're too busy getting somewhere, getting something done, hitting the mark, doing the thing, checking the box. It's all about productive. And then we forget how to fucking be. Yeah. The surrender piece of how to be. So anyway, so thank you, Patty. Ned, we'd love to hear from you.
Hi, I'm Ned, Patty's husband. So I am new. This is the first JJ group I've been involved with. In fact, I would say probably one of the only groups I've been involved with. I'm not a joiner, kind of a private person. So this is all pretty new to me. And it's funny listening to everybody talk because I think everybody came here with different levels of preparation, different expectations. And for me, the big takeaway is I was not prepared like some of you. Thinking I really had nothing to discuss, didn't know how necessary it was until you let people with fresh eyes into your business, into your life, and everyone takes away something different, but there was a lot. There was a lot I learned. It was a great meeting. It's good to not isolate. It's good to open yourself up because there's opportunities you may be missing. There may be blocks that you have, things that are holding you back, and you don't know that you're doing that to yourself. So it's good to open yourself up, take that leap of faith, and hear what other people have to say.
Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think minus your very supportive wife and best friend, you have an opportunity ahead of you right now in
Correct.
Starting your own business.
Yes.
And one of the things you want to do is you want to do it differently than you've done in the past. And while Patty's been through all of it with you, you haven't really had potentially other people watching you to help you commit to the changes you want to see in the boundaries that you set, in the projects that you work on, in the building of the business, so that it doesn't rely on your energy to be out in the field all the time. Am I accurate on that one?
I think you are. Let me see if I'm understanding what you're saying, because it's a great point if I am. I have a lot of support at home, large family, groups of friends. This group is different because although you know me now, and we really only met in Myrtle Beach, it's a fresh set of eyes. It's people who know me, but they're not involved in my everyday life. So it's a little different perspective. And I think maybe that sums it up for me, is the different perspectives.
So where I want to point out, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like we potentially offer you an up level, a bit of accountability for you to execute the things you talked about here that maybe you might have wanted to do before, but because of patterning or because of the putting out fires, like you want to build a business differently.
I do. I want to take a same business, different path for myself.
Right. And your family will always support you, and no matter what you do. And Patty's going to be honest with you no matter what. And you may or may not listen, or you may argue about it, or you may whatever. But does having people, Patty's going to be honest with me. But does having a group of people who aren't attached, aren't your family, you don't have to feed us, does having that change your accountability or expectation of yourself to sort of like make good on all the things you said you were going to do?
Oh, I absolutely think so. Yes, accountability. And like I said, just things I may be missing, different things to hold me accountable for that I may not have even realized something that I needed to be doing. What are we doing differently?
What'll be really fun is when you take Michelle's course, because that's been discussed, and you're wanting to do design, and that'll be a nice little crossover of integrating work between people of education and helping each other and kind of where that goes. I think that's going to be really fun too.
So there was a lot of networking this weekend too. There's a lot of certain group members getting other people in touch with people they know who could help them.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Also important.
Yes. Dana, I think, already has clients. She came up with the idea today. So I already have some advisors for her, and she's got a client. And she literally had the idea an hour ago. So yeah, well, I'm looking forward to hearing more as your business progresses, and wanting to, again, support your vision of what you want for yourself. And I think, again, what I see as being different when it's not your family or not your employees is that we get to hold a space for you to say, come on, Ned, are you going to don't take that job? Are you going to commit to you? You said you wanted to have a nice leisurely morning with your coffee and work in your shop. And are you doing that, Ned? And not because we're attached to it, but because we just want to show you the mirror and say, hey, this is what you said you wanted. We're here to help make sure you get that.
Yeah. And I can already see some of that.
Great.
Just from Myrtle Beach to this weekend.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you. We really appreciate your involvement. I think I speak for everybody when we say we have the token male has been a very important influence and anchor in our group. So I appreciate it. She's not a stranger to the show. This is Stephanie's 4th show, I think. Welcome back.
Thank you, JJ. I appreciate that. And it's good to be here. I have had quite a journey of getting here since Myrtle Beach. I had some great momentum in Myrtle Beach. And then as I came for my VIP weekend, I had a few events surrounding that were huge life kind of altering events. And it kind of set me back on my momentum. And so when I was coming for this weekend, I was really feeling very overwhelmed, feeling stuck, just discouraged, questioning whether I should follow through and keep on this path. And I found my unseen support here in my mastermind group that I have here with all of these wonderful people. And so I was like everyone else that kind of said that felt unprepared. And when it was my turn to get up and speak in front of the group, I started to get that feeling again of, my passion of, yes, this is what I want to do. I want to build my business. And just being here with them and their energy and their support. And then as we started talking it out, I got so many more ideas that I am just so appreciative that I did push myself and that this was just what I needed. I feel now more, I feel restored. I have energy. I'm recharged now so that, as I leave this weekend, I can go home now and I still have that momentum to carry me. So, I just can't say enough to all these people how appreciative I am of your support, your friendship, the love that's here. And it's been such a beautiful experience this weekend, actually. And I just thank you, JJ, for really putting this together. And what I really appreciated as well is that coming into this weekend, how vulnerable you were and authentic and upfront of where you are currently.
Thank you.
Yep.
Well, if I can't be honest and authentic with you, and I'm shit out of luck. I mean, minus my relationship, of course. But yeah, I mean, I think my story isn't unique at all. I think everyone can relate. And if you haven't experienced it, you can still see how it happens, because it's easy to overgive and rescue and think it's your job to help people and be responsible for their results and their feelings and their whatever, all of it. And it's like the most ridiculous thing, but it's so common and it's unfortunate. But this is my lesson in how I get there. So one of the things that we've come up with this week, and this is the 3rd year I've done this, these people have wonderful things to share with you in the world. And we've got a bunch of free gifts. They're not free, but we're going to, for a very short period of time, give them to you, the listener, for free. If you would like to get access to some of the things that they're doing in the world, you can go to jjflizanes.com/support. and see all the wonderful temporarily free, valued over $1,000, but temporarily free for you as a listener to get some of the things that these wonderful people are working on in the world. So make sure to go to jjflizanes.com/support. And I'm just going to pass, I want the mics to go around one more time and tell you the two questions I have for you would be just to share what you're working on in the world, what your focus is and how you help people, whatever that means. And then if there's anything else you want to close up with after you're done with that has to do with anything on the board that we discussed or anything that you think people need to hear to motivate them to take a risk and to jump and to not have to be prepared and not have to be productive and not have to be perfect and not have to have it all together. And, because definitely, what is the saying? Perfection is the enemy of the great or the good. Anyway, there's some saying about that. It is because people let that stop them from moving at all because they don't have it perfect, and perfect is an illusion anyway. So, okay, Wendy.
Okay. So as I've said at the beginning, I am one of JJ's empowerment strategists. I am a coach, motivational coach. I am helping people move forward in their lives. Currently, where I've kind of stumbled on my niche would be with the people who have been working for a very long time, and yet they've kind of forsaken their lives and not found any joy, sort of speak. So, or working to live, but they're not living happily, or living for their children and not living happily. So I think that's going to be the area where I would like to really help others kind of step out of and to become more aware of their true essence and where it lies. Is it caught up in the worldly world, or is it caught up in their family? And they're forsaking all that for themselves. So that is my niche at this point in time, which could evolve and which probably will evolve over time.
So when he's helping people get clear about how to get happy, no matter what their circumstances are. So
well said.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, if you've thought to yourself, when is it my turn? When do I get to be happy? Then Wendy's your gal.
Michelle here again. So I have a landscape design business, and I've had that for a little while, but I love helping homeowners create exterior spaces for them to improve their lives and enjoy their lives, and work with them through design and through construction to get that done. And eventually I want to help new designers, coach them in how to become a designer, start their own design business, and navigate that. That'll be down the road a little bit, but
well, I think you have your first client, a test client, and Ned here, who's going to take your class, your course that you've created. Right?
I have a course that will be part of that. So a course in AutoCAD. So yeah, that's in the works right now.
Yeah.
And exciting.
Excellent. So if you're a designer and you want to know how to get started, Michelle's going to be your gal.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hi, Dana again. So let's see. In addition to my day job, I'm taking a new path and going to look at bookkeeping as a new adventure. And as I see it right now, it's going to be my part-time side gig, but optimistically, I'm looking for it to actually replace what I'm doing now as a day job. And I also realize that it can morph into something completely different. And I'm totally open and receptive and looking forward to see what it morphs into, and just getting bigger. And I don't know. I have a really good feeling, and I see a lot coming out of it. I just kind of at a loss of words, or I can't articulate exactly what it looks like, but it's bright. Super excited.
Awesome. Yeah. Dana already has clients. And if you're someone who's looking to get started with a bookkeeper, you can reach out to her now. We're going to have something to offer you on jjflizanes.com/support, because you want to get in at the ground floor before she gets too busy. And,
that's right.
And, but she's very organized, and she is detail oriented, and she knows her numbers. And for anyone that needs some support in that area, again, you're going to be full before you know it, because I can really book your schedule. My poor bookkeeper's so damn busy, and I can't get her to work with anybody. So
that's awesome.
So you're next in line.
Looking forward to it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Gaea again. I am a financial advisor and planner, and I work with experienced long-term and intuitive investors with an abundance mindset. And I help identify, create, and customize a plan for each client that's aligned with their values, beliefs, and goals. And I consider myself a steward for their money.
Very nice. So you're going to hear Gaea. She'll be on the show, I think, in maybe 2 weeks from now. And you're going to get to hear all about how she can help you with your finances and all the things that she just said. So if that at all now, but you can still come over to jjflizanes.com/support right now, because you're going to get some really fun stuff from Gaea to get you started on your financial planning.
Patty again. And I told you I've been working with JJ on the Empowerment Strategist beta program, and I am looking forward to finding a group of people to work with, coaching really on self-esteem and letting go of judgment on themselves and reframing body image into a shifting towards a healthy lifestyle and not so much the way you look. The way you look's important because it makes you feel good about yourself. So I'd like to work on some of that, but there are ways to feel great at any weight and in any shape. And I kind of look forward to using the tools that I learned in the Empowerment Strategist group and some more things that I've learned in the mastermind, and just getting a group of people to work together and be accountable and be healthy and live better lives and share recipes and methods and thoughts, and just building a supportive group, kind of like this one, but for like-minded people that have had trouble with that before.
So if you're looking to improve your body confidence, Patty is going to be putting a group together, and you can talk to her about that. She also has something to give you in the jjflizanes.com/support. So basically, it's a place where you're going to be accountable to taking care of yourself, and most importantly, also how you talk to yourself and building that self-esteem and that deep self-love and respect, while also doing the things that are good to take care of your body, like exercise and nutrition. But it's not just that. So you have to actually want to heal the relationship with your body and love and accept yourself at any place. And then also commit to loving yourself differently in a structured way when it comes to food and exercise. So thanks, Patty.
Thank you.
This is Ned again. You probably figured that out. I am a home builder and have been for years. So the business that I'm starting is it is a new business, but it's kind of a rebranding of a company that we had before, but it's in a different location, much smaller town, very rural, different clientele. So it's going to be a whole new take on the home building and construction for us. It's going to be hopefully a different role for myself, which is one of the things we discussed this weekend, moving out of the field and being in more of an administrative role. And with Michelle's help, hopefully turning it into a design firm and focusing on eventually possibly some smaller, more affordable homes, which is, I think, something that's going to be needed in the market, and hopefully a niche, an area that we can fill.
And where are you located? So anyone?
We're in Tonto Basin, Arizona. So again, very small town, roughly about an hour outside of Phoenix metropolitan area.
So technically, if somebody in Phoenix wanted you to do something, would you consider it?
We might consider it.
Depending on the project.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, but I want to keep that in people, because there's probably more people who listen to the show live in Phoenix than in Tonto Basin.
Sure.
I think the ones who listen to the show are sitting right here. Probably in Tonto Basin. So just in case somebody says, hey, well, I like that guy. He feels good. I want to hire him. Where will you go? So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we will be moving into Payson area and Globe, Tonto Basin, and definitely down to Phoenix, Scottsdale. If it's the right project, the right client, absolutely, we would go there.
Okay. All right. Well, check out jjflizanes.com/support for more information about Ned's business. And last but not least, Ms. Stephanie.
Hi, again, it's Stephanie Dillon. And my day job is a school nurse. And my job taken on now is nurse health coaching. And I have a desire to coach people through health issues. Particularly, my specialization is cancer. I'm a 3-time breast cancer survivor. So I really have the desire to walk alongside of women that may be going through that journey of breast cancer. And I have a Instagram page, which is Simply Stephanie. And I have a Facebook, Simply Stephanie Coaching. And then I also have a Facebook group that I am just now creating, and it's a triple negative breast cancer thrivers Facebook group. So I am really looking forward to seeing that grow, and I just appreciate the opportunity.
Yep. Anyone you know who's dealing with triple negative breast cancer or breast cancer in general would definitely be someone Stephanie can help. So she's not only a nurse, she's been through so many things and has the education to help people and to guide them through this journey successfully and happily. So,
thank you.
Yeah. Any last ideas, words, things you just want to make sure somebody hears or gets?
I just really want to kind of hammer the point home of it's not recoiling and isolating that you feel you might need. You really need to always remember and realize your support, whether it's unseen or the forgotten support around you. But, you know, any kind of group, I think, or not any kind, most kinds, I'll say as well. I'll just speak to this because this is the only group that I don't want to say valuable group as an adult that I've been involved in that has just, I've had that unforeseen, just growth that, and the support. I'm at a loss of words for, I'm just overwhelmed with all kinds of wonderful thoughts at the moment. But yeah, just to seek out the support is huge, and never forget that you do have that unseen support that we all need to be reminded of. So thank you, JJ.
You're welcome. And thank you for coming. I do want to just say one thing about the resistance. So if you're out there thinking, oh, well, it's easy for you guys, for whatever reason, they judge themselves compared to others. Oh, I can't do that. Or, right. So here's what this looks like. It looks like kicking and screaming. It looks like, no, I can't do that. No, I don't want to do that. What am I going to say? I can't afford that. So if you have said any of those things, you're in the right place. That's exactly what every single person here has said in some way, shape, or form at some point in the last 8 months. So kicking and screaming, but they're still here and they still show up and they still allow themselves to be supported by the other people to say, you really want to come? Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay. So this isn't like an easy walk, but it's a fulfilling journey of expansion because of the support you have around you.
Yeah. And I would like to actually echo that growth truly happens when you step out of that comfort. There's been times where I was offended, and because I didn't run away from it, I've stepped further into it. And it's amazing at the level of comfort that I have with myself within after having been through this whole program that has truly empowered me to embrace myself and to be fully authentic and aligned and just to be myself, which has been transformational. And it has a lot to do with every single person in this room. And you, JJ, for the support that you have provided each and every one of us on such a huge level that, you can't explain it. But I thank you for all that you've done and all that you've given me and every single one of us in this room. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah, this is Gaea again. I want to say I also echo what they're saying about JJ, and I didn't come to JJ the same way everyone else. I came to her through my sister.
Shout out to Krista.
Yeah, Krista. But what I did, so my job is finance and financial, and how I was raised and who I am deep inside is spiritual and mindful. And I never really figured out how to combine the two. I thought I was trying and on a path, but being part of this group has really helped me narrow down or figure out how to bridge the two and make my practice more aligned with my beliefs and seek out the clients who are also of those beliefs. So I really thank you for helping me like bridge that gap between who I am outside of my work and who I am inside of my work, and allow me to just be me in all areas of life.
Well, that's beautiful. And it's also one of your superpowers. It's because it's who doesn't want a financial planner who's spiritual, aligned, and understands law of attraction and possibility and consciousness and making a difference in the world and being authentic and being trustworthy. How many people, I mean, this community needs that. So Gaea will be on the show. You'll hear all about her business and how she can help you, but it's needed. I mean, I said that at the boot camp. I was like, well, everybody needs that. So everybody in this room, because that's what we value. And we want to know that the people who are looking after our money and helping us to make decisions share those values of the broader perspective and our possibility thinking and driven and conscious and spiritual and all the woo-woo things that we love.
Yeah. And actually, I not now in my career, because I took a career path redirect a few years ago, and I'm kind of getting back to where I was business growth wise. But eventually I can see myself working with other financial advisors to think like I think, because I can't take everyone as a client either. And so it would be nice if there were more of me in the financial world. And being a woman too is helpful in the sense that I already have people tell me that we want to work with you because you're a woman. There's more and more women in my field now, but there's still a male dominant field. And I think we just have a little bit of a different nurturing and understanding of things. And so, that combined with the spirituality, combined with the knowledge of my career, and if I can teach it to others, that would be pretty cool too. So eventual goal for like a 5-year mastermind group.
That's like next year. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like you'll be doing that by next year or by the end of this year.
Okay.
Anytime someone has said to me, I think I'd like to do this next year. I'm like, no, you're doing it now. We're going to do it now. So maybe not tomorrow, but this may not be as far off as you think, because you need it. You need it because you're going to have at least my community, and maybe people aren't, who knows where they are financially, but they want what you have. Mm-hmm. And so there's a whole market of people who want to do better with their finances and need a place to start. And they want to work with someone long-term that they can build and trust and know who to go to and how to do it right, and in alignment with who they are. So I think there's lots of massive opportunity for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? All right. Yeah. Of course. Don't be quick. Michelle, you can take as much time as you want.
Okay. Yes, slow. I'm going to take my time with this.
You are valuable. You are worthy. You are important. What you feel matters.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just wanted to say along the lines of something you said today, like hit home. And it was that to break a pattern, you need to do the opposite of what you usually do. And I definitely had the tendency to withdraw and recoil, like Dana was saying. And the only way to grow is to do the opposite, which is what I've been practicing and what got me here this weekend. And I think that's such an important and simple thing to just keep in mind, just to do the opposite of what you normally do in order to grow in that direction. So, and the other thing is like I think you said before, like what to do if there's something big you want to do, it's just like take one little step in that direction. I don't think you don't have to have the whole plan figured out. You can just start taking steps in a direction to get to where you want to go.
Yeah. Well, the benefit that a lot of you have and people who are listening to the show is that there is a level of consciousness about your patterns. So it's like when you recognize you're in a pattern, yes, do the opposite. But if the opposite is too extreme, I would just invite everybody it's a show I did a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, called How Can I? Rather than just decide I can't, try to catch your languaging that you don't say, I can't, I don't know how, it won't work. Like, don't be so, first of all, you don't know that. You make that up. You've decided. But you can as easily decide the opposite of, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to attract the way. So it's a how can I, not I can't. And if you are solution oriented versus problem oriented, you will always manifest an idea or a way and be open to the solution. So that's just something. And, that was such a good show. I was very
that got me into the mastermind.
I know it got you into the mastermind. Yeah. Right. But it's like one to keep listening to. It's like one of my top favorites. Like, keep listening. How can I just reframe it? It may look a different way, but rather than you come up against something, you think, that's not going to work out. Well, just notice that and know that you're creating that because you've just decided that. That is one option, but it isn't the only option. And all you got to do is just switch it just a little bit and say, how can it work? Or show me how it can work. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden we open up possibility, right? Because you are here and you weren't going to be here. And it was like, I kept saying, well, come the next day. Well, you can do this. You can do that. Like, I was just trying to find the way. Like, I'll give you 10 different ways to Sunday. It's not an all or nothing. Mm-hmm. And there's value even in a part, right? Because this is the last time this group is going to be together like this. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're, hopefully everybody's going to be at the boot camp. I'm sorry. I get you guys put that in my head. It's not a damn boot camp. It is Awaken Your Dream Life. But since I did 2 boot camps and you all met at the boot camp, everyone keeps calling it the boot camp. So it's not the boot camp. It's Awaken Your Dream Life. And while that is going to be off the charts with amazing shit, it's different. It's a bigger group. It's not as intimate. It's as vulnerable. It is intimate, but it is bigger, next level processing stuff. Fun. There's going to be a lot of fun in there too. But this group, and this is it. Today and tomorrow this is it for this group for 2022. And it will never be like this again. So just wanting to take that and enjoy it and to suck the marrow out of life, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. And to allow ourselves to receive what's here for us. So, Yep. Okay.
I am one of those people that came to this community. I was seeking out a community, and specifically for the spirituality part of it. And when I joined through at the last manifestation boot camp, I was one of those people that was kicking and screaming. And
I think it's interesting you're wearing the same pants you wore the day you decided to join this group.
Right. And so I just want to say that I have had so much growth through this time that I've been with the group, because I just could have really I did hit the wall, and I could have given up and
hit a couple walls.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I could have just said, no, I'm done. I'm giving up. And that's just not in me. That's not who I am. So I have always said that, what drives me is my resilience. And so I just want to say that, again, this weekend was extremely important for me. It refreshed me. It revitalized me. I feel like my passion is back again. And it's all because of who everybody was when they came into the group this weekend. We all had issues and situations that could have really upper limited us, and even you, JJ. And we could have just...
Especially me. Not even me. Especially me this week.
We could have just said no, and we didn't. And that's what I love about it. We all came together, and I just think this is just a very special group. And I just so appreciate it. Thank you.
I was the epitome of a hot mess. So just to keep y'all... Yeah, I was the queen of hot mess. And I wear that proudly today. So... Thank you all. Thank you for this year. It's not over yet, but please, everybody, get involved with these wonderful people and what they have to give to you this week. jjflazanes.com/support. And we hope to see you at the Awaken Your Dream Life event. If you're ready for some change, you're ready for some community, you're ready to stop your patterns. And even if it means just taking 2 steps forward into hope, into possibility, into slight passion or revitalization or rejuvenation or recommitment and clarity. If you're sitting in your car, listening to this, or taking your walk, and you're always thinking, well, that's nice. That sounds nice. If you're the person that's ready for more than just that's nice, and you're ready for it to happen to you and in your life, then we hope to see you at Awaken Your Dream Life. Check out jjflazanes.com/support. And thanks for being a part of the community.
Woohoo! Thank you.